Generational differences within the workplace can be a struggle for employers, according to Eric Chester, founder and CEO of Colorado-based Reviving Work Ethic. Eric sat down with Canadian HR Reporter TV to talk about steps employers can take to better understand and engage younger workers in the workplace. You say work ethic has diminished over the past 100 years. How so?
Well, I think anybody who's a business owner, operator, manager, supervisor can look retrospectively at what's happened in Western cultures and say people aren't approaching the workplace the same way they used to. It has nothing to do with the number of hours. It's the commitment that they put into those hours. You know, whether they throw themselves into a job, this word engagement, which is mystically supposed to happen when we create a great culture. But what is it from the human side? The individual who says, I want to work for you. I want to work for you like this is my company and I own it. I want to approach it that way.
How can employers change this?
Well, first we have to do is to understand that the emerging workforce is not wired like us. They come into the workforce with a completely different set of attitudes, of values, and beliefs. It's not better, it's not worse, it's just different. To understand how they're wired, to realize that maybe career success means something different to them. They have more of a free agent mentality. So to embrace that, to understand who and what they are, and then to begin to influence them from the inside out, rather than here's exactly what I'm going to mold you to become, but what are you capable of becoming and how can I ignite that fuse within you?
So how can employers manage generational differences?
When you start talking about generations, basically people like to quantify and classify people by birth years, when they were born. And while I've written several books that deal with generational differences, I think things are changing so fast. Rather than getting into 20-year or 14-year cycles and saying somebody who's born between these birth years has these tendencies and characteristics, things have changed so much that it now may be 3 to 4 years, because change is happening so fast. What a child grows up with, they accept or they reject. It's what they grow up without that becomes profoundly important to them. So really, truly making an impact from a leader, from an HR perspective, is understanding the individuals that you are managing and realizing it's not a one-size-fits-all philosophy.
How can an employer tell if it's not engaging its workforce enough?
Well, I think the proof is in the pudding. You look at your turnover numbers. I mean, if retention isn't where you want it, if you find out that you are not turning your rookies into superstars, but you're just doing a lot of churning and burning, instead of looking and blaming them, you know, what's wrong with these people? There is no loyalty anymore. Stop and say, what am I doing? Am I trying to employ them the same way I was employed? Am I just treating them like miniature versions of myself? And using those old principles, not really understanding who my people are. So that's the number one thing, is first of all, what do the metrics show? And number two, we constantly survey our customers. We want to know what our customers think, but quite often we don't survey the people that matter the most. A performance review every 60 to 90 days or every 120 days or an annual banquet or company event is not enough to engage people. If you want to do that, it's got to be on a continual basis. So the greatest way to know your people is to have a relationship and talk to them. Pull some people together, have forums and say, what do you like about working here? What don't you like about working here? If you were in my position, what kind of changes would you make? And if you keep an ear to the ground, you're going to know your people. And when you know your people, you grow your people.